Say what? Forex trades actually lose sometimes? Nah, no way, man. Those gurus on YouTube never lose. Nah, man. Even if they're in a bit of drawdown, 100 pip drawdown, they just open up another position. That one goes into 15 pip profit and they call it a win. They never lose, man. I don't believe you. Well, you know what, guys? Pinch my skin. I can feel it. It hurts if I pinch it hard enough. Truth of the matter is, guys, we're humans. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna have our moments of really good times. We're gonna have our moments when things don't work out so well. But that's the whole part of trading. If any so-called internet guru ever says to you they never lose, or maybe lose once a month or so, but rarely ever lose, run for the mountains. Just sprint, guys. Just absolutely sprint as fast as you can. Because the truth of the matter is, guys, yes, we do make mistakes. Even if we don't make mistakes and we follow our plan, plan's not always going to work for us. It's law of probability. So, I had my first losing week of the year. Now, it was 0.35%, so nothing substantial at all. Does that mean I just go, oh no, man, I had a loss. What do I do now? No, oh, just throw everything out the window, you know, completely. Got to change the whole system. It's broke. Absolutely not, guys. What I continue to do is follow my plan through thick and thin, because there are going to be those times where you're going to have a little bit of a setback. Doesn't mean I go change everything. Now, what I can do, and the benefit of having a few losses in a row, or a few losses of a week, and in a week in the negative, you got to do your homework. You go back to the drawing board, but not to drastically change anything, but just to go back to see why maybe something didn't work. And that is what I will be doing in this video. So guys, let's stick around and welcome to this week's trade recap video. Without further ado, guys, let's get into it. So, excuse the lack of editing, guys. This is all, none of it's pre-scripted. I just off on a roll, on a tangent. I just, whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth, basically. So, I keep it real on this channel. You will only find on most other channels all of success. Everything's about success. How, you know, how much millions or whatever they're making, how profitable week in, week out they are. And if they are, fantastic for them. But what we can learn from is when we make a mistake, or when something doesn't exactly go to plan, let's look at why. Ask ourselves, why do we think it did not? So we have this trade here on Friday. Now, to be honest, coming into this session, I was in a very small profit for the week. Not much at all. Very small profit. And I was willing to risk it, to be honest. Because what I anticipated, what I wanted to plan was for that trade, for this trade, which was a loss, was just to, once it gets to break even the monetary value, I shouldn't have been doing that, but that's what I did on my terminal. Just eyeballing on my terminal. Once it got to around the break even for the week, I was just going to cut it. But then I thought, you know what? Small position. I'm just going to let this thing ride and trade it technically. And that's how I managed it technically. And so be it. And ended up in a bit of a drawdown for a week. But the trade was gold, nonetheless, guys. A few things here. A few things I noticed after the trade. So what I did was I took a buy limit. Price had, during the session, create a high. Now, what we had done though is we pulled back below the previous, the 4-hour range. The previous daily candle was high as well. We had not, well, we formed support. We had formed support in 15. We formed a minor resistance. What I saw was, I looked for a limit order buy as price began to break. So it closed above this previous resistance here to the left. Sorry guys. So my entry was at that point just there. This price tapped into tapped into the previous candle's high. That was where I took my entry. So we got the catalyst closure above the resistance. As soon as we got the closure above, what I want to see was price pull back to retest the high of that previous bearish candle, bring him in, bounce off it, get to TP, once it flips, and the rest would have been history. But what happened was price obviously tagged me in, popped up a little bit, had about 2 pips on the table, 2-3 pips I think it was, and then it continued to melt. It just came right back down. So I ended up, obviously, my original stop loss was just below the actual swing point. I ended up closing it pretty much as this candle broke low of the previous, and it was a bit of about minus 29 pips I think it was in the end. So that was the actual trade itself. Now, why do I think this trade didn't work? This is what I asked myself afterwards, having a look at it. Well, a few things. First of all, price had made quite a substantial move downward, trending to the downside, quite a clean move down. So probably should have been looking for, if anything, maybe to sell at this point. After this interruption, closure below, tap in, and that would have got the chocolates. May not have been a big win, but it would have got you 10 to 20 pips. So what I should have done is, should have waited before looking for any buy, knowing that we still had room, still had some margin till these lows, this support. I should have just waited for price to pop back down, use the arrow tool, like so, tap into this level, then look for my catalyst from this support to potentially buy it. At that point, we're still bullish in the M30 as well. Should have waited for that price to come down to retest that level. Then we still had that little bit of margin to go. If we are to trade range bound, what we know is, guys, even if we had this previous resistance in, we know that once we break out of range and once we pop back below it, there is about an 80 to 90% probability that price, once it closes below this point, it's going to come back down to the next support, tap into it before it decides what to do. If it wants to bounce off it or if it wants to melt through it, which is what I eventually did. So that is what I should have been waiting for. Should have waited for that confirmation to tap in, then look for my catalyst to buy it. Now that's what I didn't do. So I look for another thing. Not only did I look for the buy when price had not yet reached support, sort of in the middle of nowhere. You can argue it tapped into a bit of consolidation here to the left. Broke below that previous support, so the probability price coming back down to next support is very high. So that's what I should have waited for. Not only that, another mistake I feel I have picked up from within this trade. Another learning curve. When price is within the range, I think looking for those limit orders, especially when price has been trending quite heavily back to support. Again, it didn't tap in, but when price has been traveling so quite strongly against you, instead of looking for that limit order buy, so wait for the exact same confirmation, but as opposed to looking for the limit order, simply wait for price to grab some more liquidity, create an upper wick, and if it does tap into that level, wait for it to begin to flip again. At that point, you've got counter probabilities on your side, high, low. After following the catalyst candle, what is likely to happen at that point? Price is likely to pop back up to retest the most recent resistance, which was that point there, and that would have been, in my opinion, a higher probability entry, and I would have been spared a loss, because what happened was this candle popped up briefly, the previous candle, another point number 3, no upper wick. Happened to me twice last week where the candle had no upper wick on the 15 and 30, and I still looked to take the limit order as price pulled back. If the preceding candle pops straight up, and this, albeit like a pip, this one did, not even maybe, did pop up to create a small upper wick, does that and begins to pop back down, gone, like that. Remove the order, guys, just remove it, because twice I saw it just shit the bed after it. So that's what I've picked up on this particular entry, why I think it didn't work. So 1, price did not actually tap into that support, so still margin for it to pull back to tap into that support. 2, the limit order. Looking for the limit order, or looking for price to against the trend. Looking for that limit order from within the range, in my opinion, is highly dangerous. You're better off waiting for the continuation wait for it to close above, give you a catalyst, pull back, begin to break above, and there's your entry. So that's pretty much it, guys. So I hope it makes sense. So that's what I've gained from this particular loss. Limit orders, I feel at best probably kept to when price begins closes below a support, significantly below. Then you can potentially look for the limit order back at the previous support. Same to the upside. Closes above, a little bit too far above, and you're going to lose a bit of margin if you wait till the following candle crashes upward and then break like so. So instead of that, what you decide is closure above, you're going to set the limit order back at the high of that resistance in anticipation. It's going to pull back, tap in, and reject. So that is lesson learned. And yes, we do take losses, guys. And I am transparent, so I don't hide from the fact I am not perfect. No trader is perfect, but what I do works. It has worked for me for the best part of the last, more really consistently the past 2 years, but I would say the past 3 years. It's all about just following the plan, guys. Following your rules, sticking to your rules. What these losses do is give you opportunities to maybe adjust some rules, and that's what this has done for me. So a few weeks back, I learned something about trading Fridays. Remember that one. So from now on, Fridays, I'm just trading the direction of the weekly. And preferably if the direction of the weekly is in line with the trend, which likely will be, I'd rather just look for pullbacks to either resistance or support, and then look for my potential entries or entries upon continuation in the direction of the weekly candle more so than anything else. And now I've come up with some new rules from this particular trade. So guys, if you could, please hit that like button. Don't forget, smash the like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how you went last week. I hope you had a better week than I did. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow on stream. Not going to change anything. Once again, I'm just going to stick to doing what I do. And I will see you tomorrow, 6:30 AM UK time. Cheers, my friends. Thank you to those who've waited till the end. Bye for now. Catch you then. Cheers.